What's up, cabbage lovers? I'm back with a new review, and it is Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix live action version. And I recently finished watching it, put my thoughts together, and I'm going to do a review on the show. Let's see, I'll just get some things out of the way. Obviously, the showrunner for this is Albert Kim, and it stars Gordon Cumber as Aang, Kwai Wento Tarbell as Katara, Ian Owsley as Sokka, Dallas James Liu as Zuko, Paul Shun Lee as Iroh, Daniel Dae Kim as Ozai, and Ken Lun as Commander Zhao. And I'll just cut right to it. The show, what it's about? That's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1. Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations were able to live in harmony. That was until the Fire Nation attacked. The only one that could stop them was the Avatar, who could command all four elements. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. And yeah, that brings us up to speed. And the series has the job of doing very similar job that the live action One Piece had to deal with. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the inspiration and direction that went into both of these shows had some sort of like communication from a pie, because both are 8-episode seasons of shows that had much longer seasons. Actually, One Piece had the more challenging job of a season, or at least a story arc that was like, 40 plus episodes? I don't remember how long it is until the end of the Arlong Park arc, but it's a lot more than what Avatar is, which is like 20 plus episodes, like 20, 21 or something like that. But still, that's a bit. You're getting quite a few more hours of TV that you have to squash, even if these episodes are an hour long. So they had a bit of a challenge. And I think they were up to it. I know there's a lot of fan debate, and to be honest, I don't know if I even want to address that. Because what I want to do is talk about the piece, the work at hand, instead of like fan crap. But I gotta say, I am pretty impressed with this. And I think one of the important things is they're able to capture what this story is, and they do kind of cut out the fat, the Great Divide, and a few other moments and episodes that were good, but can be lost because the story that needs to be told can be hit in these particular episodes and stories. With Amashu, as well as the trip to the spirit world. And of course, the big trip, Kyoshi Island, as well as, of course, the trip to the north where, Aang and the gang kind of faced their biggest challenge, frankly. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, the first couple episodes are almost the first 5 or 6 episodes kind of squashed together, and they do a really good job kind of encapsulating them. But then I think the real challenge comes within, I believe it is episodes 3 and 4, where they hit Imashu, or I believe that's where they hit it. But anyway, when they start hitting that, that's when you start seeing them really get creative with the mixing and adaptation, because when they hit Imashu, they are able to hit, 4 or 5 different episodes that were separate stories. But they tie together so nicely. Of course, with the King Boomy stuff, the jet stuff, the secret tunnel stuff, and the inventor guy episodes, they all really fit nicely together. So I have to say, I'm really impressed. And I think they're aided with that because in the original season, those are kind of like these parts of a thematic journey that Aang and the crew go through, and they kind of weave nicely together. I gotta say, it's pretty impressive how well they're able to do this. I have to say, The acting is, I think, mostly on the strong part. I guess I'll get to maybe some of the downsides of the acting, but some of the acting, it does wisely do what the One Piece group. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be carrying. I feel like I'm going to compare this more to the One Piece live action more than I'm going to compare it to the original animated Avatar, because I think they go in a very similar mindset as far as adapting this material. And what I feel like they do is they focus on some of the important things. Yeah, the story, yeah, is going into this direction. We got to get from A to B to C for this season, but there's a nice strong focus on characters, particularly Iroh, and of course like Aang. We're building up to Ozai, and there's something interesting with Ozai, and we get to see Ozai right off the bat instead of all this build up, where it was episodes and episodes and episodes before we even saw his face. But we kind of see his face pretty close to the beginning of the series. And also we get to experience Aang's loss of his people and Gyatso and his relationship with him. And I think that's actually one of the stronger parts of the first couple episodes, because we of course feel bad and we have a lot of sorrow for Aang in losing his people and his mentor, but this makes it a little bit more personal, because first off we see it happen, and number two, we get to have a little bit in the first episode more attention brought to the Aang and Gyatso relationship, so you can actually see the loss firsthand. I think it's really lovely the way it's done, actually, and you get to feel their love for each other. Yeah, mentor and student, but I mean, he's pretty much a father figure to him, and because Aang really didn't really know his parents, and he was the only parent he really knew, and there's a lot of him in Aang. So I mean that loss is made a little bit, to me, more stronger and personal, frankly. So when we get to see Gyatso's dead corpse, it's a little bit more brutal. I really, really enjoyed how they did that, frankly, and that's a nice focus, and that's something they take advantage of with this adaptation, where they don't make the mistake of trying to recreate scenes and just make them lame. What they do is, yeah, they know what scenes to recreate, but they also know what within the original material that they can mine that really maybe wasn't focused on enough for one reason or another. And I think they do that quite well here. And I said some of the acting, like, particular favorites of mine are Ian Owsley as Sokka. I think he nails this character absolutely from like scene one onward. Let's see, I do like Kim a lot as Ozai. Lee as Iroh is just fantastic. He does something interesting, and this is within the script as well, but it's also played in his performance. He tends to keep things a little bit closer to his chest than original OG Iroh. I love that scene between him and Aang in the cell, where he is telling him, like, oh, well, it is believed by the Fire Nation this, and oh yeah, this is what they think, and blah, blah, blah. And Aang really knows, like, right off the bat, it's like, I'm really using a lot of me in these sentences and what I think in these sentences, and I think that's a nicely done piece. And I think his chemistry with Liu playing Zuko, I think, is really nice. I think they have a nice, strong father-son bond, frankly, in this. And, he plays a nice, kind of like dramatic, angry teenager so well. And he really kind of like gets like several moments where he gets like really angry and high-pitched whininess. It's like, oh, that's really good. I really love his sad boy, Zuko. And of course, And actually, one of my favorite standouts is, let's see, Ken Luden as Commander Zhao. I love his Commander Zhao. Oh my God. I actually think I like, this is one of the things that I think is like, to me, like an upgrade. I think Jason Isaacs is a terrific actor, and I think he did an excellent job with Zhao, but he plays this kind of like comedic sliminess to the role that I really enjoy, and he's still a bit of a threat, but also he's not as strong as he puts himself out there, but he could like in a moment hurt someone if need be. And then of course we get that tie to Azula, and I gotta say I really enjoyed his performance a lot. Every time he was in a scene, I was just kind of eating it up. It's great stuff. Some of the downsides, I guess, is let's see, some of the acting here and there. There's a lot of like necessary dialogue that has to be said. A lot of exposition that has to be done in some of these scenes, and it does sometimes stiffen some of the acting, particularly the kids. In some scenes where they're allowed to kind of stand out in more emotional, simpler scenes versus the scenes where they just like, oh, we got to hand out this information here. That sometimes affects some of the adult performances too. But that's just kind of the nature of the storytelling that we have. Of course, if they had 20 episodes to tell this shit, then maybe that wouldn't be such a deal. But do I have any other cons besides that? Yeah. You know what? I think most of the changes I think are for the better. I actually, there was a lot of debate and arguments about Sokka's sexism going into this, and people got way too angry before we even got to see the the series, and about how it would be played down. And it is played down. It is it's still there, and you can still get that condescending sexist attitude from him. And you see it kind of slowly drip away. And I did think going into it that was somewhat of a mistake, because not only is it Sokka's character arc that he's got to deal with, but it's also Katara's, because she has come from an environment that keeps telling her to, behave in certain ways, and you have to perform these certain roles, and it's a challenge she has to go through, and she faces at the end of the season. And I also have to say, at the end when she faces the sexism there, I actually think I like the way it's done. I forgot the name of the waterbender master, but anyway, he is a little. I actually like the way his brand of sexism was done here, because in the original series, it's very, very focused, mean-spirited, evil sexist, and he turns on a dime the second he finds out that Katara's grandmother is his old girlfriend, and then he just completely changes. It's a bit of a breakneck change, where this actually, I think, is a little bit more earned feeling, actually, because his sexism is a little bit more, this is the way things are done. And, we can't help it, this is how it is. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change, and he has to be proven he's wrong through actions, and not just like his duel with Katara, but also seeing Katara in action during the big climactic battle. So I actually kind of think I actually preferred that part of the sexism subplot. Also, we didn't get the reveal that he used to date Grandma, so I assume maybe that's probably going to be revealed to him at the beginning of season 2. Speaking of Grandma, I really dig how much more important she had in this season, where she is actually kind of able to give Katara not just the impetus to go on to this journey, but also she had the scroll that, in the original series she stole from pirates. But it does simplify things so we can get moving. But also it like kind of strengthens like her connection to like her mother. Like she was keeping this secret for Katara, and it kind of helps pass the baton to her to move on. And also we get to see her do the big speech that Katara does at the intro of every cell, and it's nicely played into like the scene. And then of course I'm not talking about Aang at all, but God, let's see, I really really enjoyed Cromer as Aang. I think he really kind of finds that nice line between serious hero and like goofball easy guy who just wants to have like fun, and just he doesn't want to be the epic hero, but he kind of is stuck in this role. And you see him, I think he does a really nice performance struggling with that and the guilt that he feels for what he feels like ditching the world when they needed him most. And of course, like I think he like plays up several different characters. Lu, and of course Sokka and Katara as well. I really, the more I talk about, heck, the scene when Iroh is captured by the Earthbenders, this scene is one of my favorites in the season because it does something that the original really kind of like sidestepped a bit. Is Iroh's siege on Ba Sing Se and the fact that people died because of him, and he only like changed because like his son died. A personal tragedy to him got him onto this journey to turn him into a general of this evil empire, into the Iroh we know and love. And that scene between him and Zuko, I think, is really touching. When he comes to him to his son's memorial and sits by him, I think is really good because he's like at first giving him the speech that he's supposed to, and then he stops and speaks from the heart, and they're instantly bonded from there. Oh my God, just really good stuff. And then of course we get to the scene where Iroh tells the crew why they should respect Zuko, and instead of doing the flashback, we get the flashback naturally through Zuko's eyes. So I figure, okay, I guess we're not going to do that with the crew. Instead, we're told that the crew that was saved by Zuko by speaking out, and he got scarred and banned because he spoke up for these guys, became the crew as sort of this punishment, but they owe their lives to him. And that moment where they find out is just, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really teared up during that scene. It was really beautifully done. So I think the show really does know, I really do like the adaptation this show goes with, and I'm kind of a fan. I of course recommend this to Avatar fans, new and old, and people who haven't ventured out to Avatar. And I did notice when One Piece was successful, it brought a lot of like people gun shy of One Piece to the original anime and manga, and I'm hoping this does the same for Avatar. I hope this will maybe attract fans that maybe aren't comfortable with animation for whatever reason. I don't know. I love it, but some people are weird like that. Or at least, at the very least, if they're not even able to make that step over to the original material, at least they can enjoy the story in this format. So anyway, I really enjoyed it, and I would have to give this season, I'm going to give the season a strong 4 out of 5 Ram chips. Pretty much the same review I gave the animated book 1. So yeah, pretty on par, I think. Yeah, I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm looking forward to seasons 2 and 3. It's already been renewed for it, and I hope they stick. Stick to the plan, like just keeping to these seasons. And then if they are very successful and they want to do more, then we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, I really loved it, and I do recommend checking it out. I hope this wasn't too spoilery. Maybe I should have warned that ahead of time, but whatever. So hey, what did you, the viewers at home, think of Avatar: Last Airbender live action version with people and stuff? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, like, when you comment, when you when you click the notification bell, that just helps me, get more algorithm stuff. I don't know. I don't understand this crap. But you can also support me just at $1 a month at Patreon. You can support the channel, and I can maybe review more stuff and more frequently if I can be supported a little bit better. And you can also support me, at least following me on like Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, the site formerly known as Twitter, at Threads, Blue Sky, and I think I'm on something else too. But just follow me if you can. If you got time to listen to me ramble. So I think that's it. Coming up next, I'm going to be doing some comic reviews of this past week's books, and I'm going to be doing the first 2 episodes of X-Men '97. I'm going to be talking about that. So I think I'm done now. Push the button.